will begin talking about parenting in the digital age. My name here is Sue Thotz, and I am the Senior Program Manager at Common Sense Education. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. I am here on Twitter. I am recording. I should be fine. If you need to have if you want to jump in at any point, I will be using the chat today and trying to share some of these resources with you all. But mostly, I'm going to be speaking to you all as parents. Right. So, hello, Renata. I see many faces in here and folks that I love your names. I love seeing all these people in here. So I'm presenting this today as a parent who has been working with educators and with parents for at least 11 years now, talking about media and technology. I too am a parent. I have 2 kids. Mine are now older. Mine are now 16 and 18. So I've been doing this for a long time. Yeah, I'd be happy to share my link to the slide deck. And I don't have a friend today presenting with me. So what I'm going to do, you know what? Let me make sure that it's open and accessible to everybody. That's one thing I need to do. So I'm going to stop share for a second, and then I'm going to make sure that my slide deck is accessible to all.
This meeting
I'm going to make sure that you all have access to this. All right. Yes. So we are being recorded. Anyone with the link is able to view, copy the link. Let me share that one more time. I'm putting it in the chat. And then if anybody wants the link, Natasha, I'm going to put you in charge of sharing that link with anybody who wants it. So as we get started here, if that's okay with you, Natasha, I'm putting you in charge of that. So I'm going to start presenting one more time. I'm going to share my screen. Oh, I'm so happy that you all are here today. All right, and I'm going to do my best to talk. I know we've got folks joining us, and if I could get folks to mute as much as they can, that would be super helpful. And I think we're good. So I'm going to begin by asking you all to think about your childhood, your teenage years. And if you have a memory of a piece of technology that you used, oh boy, this is going to be hard, isn't it? We have folks joining us all over the place. Yeah, as we get started. So what I want you to do is I want you to think about a piece of technology that you had when you were a kid. Perhaps it's something that you see here on the screen. And I know, I think part of it is I keep getting unmuted. Yeah. Okay, folks, can we ask you to mute perhaps? That's what's really hard. Okay, so as folks join, I know the mute is not on. All right, I'm gonna have folks ask folks to mute. And I want you all to share in your memories in the chat. If you could share your memories, yeah, that would be great. I'm gonna see if I can make you a co-host because I think that's what's hard here. All right, I don't think tonight do I have control of that. Oh boy. All right, participants, because this is going to be interrupted a lot. Okay. I guess I can mute all. Okay, I'm making you a co-host, Natasha. And where is the mute all for everybody? Let me see if I can do that.
Last one is the last one.
Okay, let me see if it's under my... Yeah, let me see if I can. Oh, where is the mute all? Maybe Natasha, maybe you can see it. All right, so folks, all right, sorry for the distraction. It's just hard in this session. I know folks are just joining and it's not your own fault because you got background noise. But as you see this, I want you to think about what memory you have of your own technology. I see all the stuff in here, right? Your Atari, your cassettes, your gigantic telephones, right? Your DOS prompts. Oh my goodness, I don't even know what that is, right? Your 8-track cassette. Oh my goodness, Crystal. Yeah, I had myself, I had cassette tapes that I was obsessed with. And I want you to think about, how did you use this, right? With whom did you use this? What benefits did it bring to you, right? I'm sure many of us use these things to connect with these and family. You bet ya, right? I think part of it was all of us were trying to use the phone at the same time. Some of us tied it up with our Wi-Fi, with not a Wi-Fi connection, oh my goodness, with the internet connection, with the dial-up internet connection. That caused conflict, right? Tying up the phone, talking on, for hours at a time, and trying to figure out now what technology has replaced that old technology. What has replaced that technology that you used to use? What replaced the cassette? What replaced your Atari? What replaced your payphone, your Walkman, right? Your beeper, right? What kind of stuff has replaced all of that? So as I'm looking in here in the chat, our telephones, certainly our cell phones, right? And our cell phones have replaced a lot of this stuff. So I want you all to look around and see in that chat that many of us shared. I don't know if you all had feelings about your Walkman, but I certainly cassette tapes, and it really was something that connected me to lots of other folks. So with all of this technology, we all were very passionate about our technology. I imagine when you all were kids, you all were passionate about your phones, about your beepers, about your video games, about your technology that you used as kids. So is I print out images of like physical images of these types of memories and have people share stories with each other. And I wish we were all in the same space today. And oh my gosh, those rechargeable AA batteries, and share a story about our favorite CD that we had, or the way that we used to use payphones with our calling cards. Or our kids feel the same way when it comes to their technology. It's just that all of their technology tends to be wrapped up in a single phone, right? Or, maybe in a lot of ways that happens, right? So our kids are just as passionate. They care as much about their music, about their video games, about their connections with friends. And so I want all parents to also think back to when they were teenagers and how that phone was their lifeline, or those cassette tapes meant so much to them. And so I always want parents to just keep that mind frame. This is not just an annoyance to you. And have today brings benefits, right? So many benefits. And of course, with that is a lot of challenges. All right, sorry guys, if the audio is cutting out. You know what? I wanted to also make sure that I had my closed captions on. So maybe that will help. All right, let me see if I could do this. Captions, and see if my captions would be helpful. All right, let's try that and see if that brings some clarity to my words today. All right, yeah, I'm gonna blame all of you. How about we do that? It's not me, it's all. I'm doing my best, right? I'm on the road too. So if I ask parents, I knew that today we would not have time to list out all of the benefits that this new technology brings to our students. But that when I have parents in a room, they often share a lot of these I'm probably breaking concerns, and similar benefits and similar concerns. And I'm sure many of you share these benefits and share many of these concerns too, such as benefits like all the learning. Request that live transcript be enabled. Yes, enabled, please. So, so bringing these benefits, bringing these challenges is something that I wanted to share with families. When I get asked a lot, how much technology is okay for my kid? And with this, it's a very complicated answer, because when your kid is glued to the phone, figure out where to limit it. So here is some things that you should ask yourself when it comes to media balance and well-being for your own kids. So ask yourself, even if your kid is using technology a lot, is your kid physically healthy and sleeping enough? Is your kid connecting socially with friends and family, either on the phone or perhaps in person, right? Both. Consider both. Is your kid achieving and engaging in school? Is your kid pursuing all kinds of hobbies and interests that they are excited about, that they are passionate about? And are they enjoying the technology? Are they having fun and learning about, media, about the world? Are they engaging? And if the answer to these are yes, then my concerns about their health significantly drop, no matter how much. Not no matter how much, but if they are getting enough sleep, if they are engaging with your family and socially, and they're doing all these things, then I worry a lot less about your kid, right? This is what I ask myself about my own kids. So there are some things that you can do as a parent to limit the amount of time that that your kids are able to use media and technology in healthy, so we want to set limits in healthy ways, such as identifying screen-free zone. Rather than, as your kids get older, it gets harder to say, okay, you can only use your phone for 1 hour a day, or you can only use technology for 1 hour a day. And perhaps we end up flipping it, because as a parent, I end up using my phone for work. I end up using my phone a lot, all day long. And so not just for work, but for connections, for, to connect with families, and your kids do the same thing. So perhaps identifying no phones at dinner, no phones at bedtime, no phones in certain areas of the house, right? And also trying to help parents figure out how to engage with their kids is a huge part of what we do. So this is just a preview of the way that I speak with parents about using media and technology and getting tips for kids. So when it comes to older kids, for older kids, we talk about, older than preschool, staying safe once they start engaging online and thinking about who it is that they're talking to, staying balanced and not using technology too much, and then being able to communicate openly with their families. We also, when it comes to our older kids, want to realize that, we want to ask our kids why they use media and technology, and recognize that it's a very important part of their lives. This goes back to that very beginning activity. Even if I don't understand why this video game is something you're so obsessed with, I'm going to recognize that it's a big part of your life. To you about with these games, or with the language I hear, or with the tone that I see in this video game or in this movie or technology, and tell you why I'm worried before I say no. Right? So this between, these kinds of, it is that perhaps one way that we suggest is by having a document of some kind that where you can check off all the boxes around media and technology. These are links. So here is a link to a resource that comes from the Brooklyn Public Library, right, for younger kids. So I'm going to put this in the chat and share this, so everyone should be able to see. This is a great way to sit down with your kids and plan what is appropriate amount of screen time. How do we have conversations about this? who is allowed to use devices and when is not, when is it not appropriate and when, and where. Another one that I have is for older kids, media agreement, and this one is geared via accounts and so on. So these are a good place to get started with having these conversations and setting these expectations. And family activities that your families. So anybody who is a teacher and they are teaching media and technology also needs to be communicating what is being taught to families so that everyone is on the same team. The parents, the families, the teachers, and the students all have the same vernacular, all have the same language about what is the expectation. So this is an example, there's a link here with a lesson plan, and it's about media balance and well-being, but it comes with a family activity where you can ask your families, let's ask these questions together at home. Do our digital devices ever keep up? I will answer yes. For sure in my household, it happens, and we are all trying to do better, right? Do we use these devices while we eat? Is this acceptable? Or do we want to try to stop, right? So trying to come up with a plan as family together. That one was for younger kids. As kids get older, they need developmentally different kinds of questions. So this one is for grades 6 through 8. And it has a different language around it. So we need to use developmentally appropriate language. And then of course, this one is for high school. And you're asking your high schoolers some different questions. So all of these resources are found within that slide deck if you wanted to take a look at examples of language where we ask about our own media balance and how we manage it ourselves and how we are reflective about that. This is this last little set of tips that I wanted to share. These are general. As the parent, you are the model, right? You need to set a good example yourself about the way you use media and technology. And I want you to think about obviously your actions speak a lot louder than your words or any document that you have. And so when it comes to the ways in which you yourself behave, you are being watched all the time. And this is very important when it comes to the ways that we model media and technology use. It's very important to engage and have conversations about the content that your kids are watching and about the ways that they use technology. If your kid is on a phone, but they are physically in front of you, their brain is on the phone. And you need to ask, what are you doing there? Why are you doing that? And let's be curious. Let's be inquisitive. Let's be supportive as well as we can, and have our students show us, tell us, teach us what it is they're doing and why they love it. If your kid is on TikTok, have them show you the funniest TikTok that they have seen all day, right? And share that with you. If your kid is on TikTok and sees an amazing recipe, can you ask your kid to do that recipe with you? Wouldn't that be fun, right? Learn that dance together. And in a way, you can use this technology to bring ideas into your life. Adjusting and understanding that not all screens are equal. Our students, our kids, sometimes they are passively watching the screen. Sometimes they are engaging with games or with social media. And sometimes our kids are the creators themselves, making videos, making games, coding, doing all kinds of amazing things. And we ourselves as parents want to push our kids toward the creation end as much as we can and encourage that piece along with in conjunction with their teachers, so that our students are learning skills and, you know, and trying their best to be the creators. And that is the highest form of media engagement, right? And so we want to try to encourage that as much as we can. So, you know, this other piece is about setting limits, not just for our students and for our kids, but about for ourselves. Being self-reflective and looking to see how that the media is affecting us and figuring out how to take the best parts of it and limiting the garbage, right? That is a big part of what we do. And then this last one is, you know, is using support. You're good. Is trying to figure out how to support each other. As parents, we are all doing this as well as we can. None of us are perfect. You know, you have other parents who are struggling in this same issue, both at your school, in your community, you know, the parents of your kids' friends. You are all working together to make sure that your kids are, number one, safe, are number two, healthy, and number three, having a good time, right? So work with your community and ask each other questions about how you can best support the kids together. So with this, you know, I often give out a piece here about, you know, what are some things that you want to try to do at home? So what can you do to think about ways that you can better support your own kids in your home? Perhaps if you're an educator, how you better support in partnership with parents, and how you can then give your kids a better basis for their relationship with media and technology going forward. So, so just think about how you might make informed media choices for your own family. And if you want to, by all means, you know, throw something in the chat about maybe one thing you might think about doing, or one thing that I hadn't really thought about doing this, or I'm going to try to be better at this. I will try to do better with this particular aspect of my kids and media and technology. So if you want to share an aspiration or one goal or just one idea, like one idea, I will tell you right now, with my teenagers, I am trying to be better about asking my own kid about his video games that I do not understand, right? And I'm going to try to play one of these days. That's my goal. I'm going to try to play and have him teach me what it is that he loves about these games. So that is my Fortnite, here I come. So that is one thing that I'm going to try to do. So if any of you have something that you might try to do, let us know. Share that. This is my last little piece. If you have a phone and you know parents, or you are a parent and you would like to receive a tip ever, you know, once a week, that just kind of gives you something similar. We have a texting program at the company that I work for, at Common Sense. We're a nonprofit, and there's a free texting program. If you want to receive text tips in English, you text the word kids to 21555. If you want to receive them in Spanish, you can text the word familia, F-A-M-I-L-I-A, if you wanted to receive them in Spanish, to 21555. And that is how you would receive a tip every week from Common Sense about teaching, you know, your kids to be great family, you know, family people with media and technology. So I'm going to pause there. We are at 2:10. I just talked. If anybody has,
Jojo made them.
feel free. So, but go ahead and put that in the chat if you would like to. But I'm going to just pause there and give you guys some time to think for a moment. Give you guys some time to breathe for a moment and think about your own parenting. So that is it for me. And I hope for DigCit Commit, and I wish you all luck going forward. I'm going to for a minute, so if anybody has any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. And thank you all. Enjoy the closing keynote. This is going to be fabulous. All right, folks. Thank you. I'm gonna stop sharing. I don't have an evaluation. I could make one. I could throw one in there. I don't know if there is one. I will certainly add one. All right. I'm going to add one in here. And set. All right. I will add one to the end of the session. Control C. And I'm going to do this. Let's see. All right. I have added a quick survey at the end of the slide deck if you are so interested. I'd love feedback. All right, folks. Thank you, Fabiola. Enjoy. This is hard stuff. Hard stuff, I'll tell you. There is no easy way around it. It's all work.